Hi guys. Today, I will recap a very interesting Korean action and thriller movie released in 2013, called The Suspect. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. The movie started with a report about the increasing number of North Koreans defecting to South Korea. We then see a man named Dong-chul comes into his modest house, looking at a map that is posted on a wall, seeming to be looking into something. He looks distressed and gets a flashback of a child's voice begging not to be killed, and then a man shooting someone. The next morning, we see a reporter woman, Gong Yoo. She wants to investigate Dong-chul, as she is in a team that is making a documentary about the defectors. She tries to convince Dong-chul, saying that people will donate to him once they debut the documentary, but he just ignores her. That night, Dong-chul is working as a driver, being treated poorly by his customer as Gong Yoo stalks Dong-chul and records him. Then, Dong-chul is invited to a Korean bar by someone who wants to meet him there. It turns out that he is Gun-ho, the president of the Heju group. Dong-chul was working for him, but he applied for resignation. However, Gun-ho hasn't accepted his resignation and wants Dong-chul to work for him again, but he refuses. After their conversation, Dong-chul drives Gun-ho back home after they are done. On the way, they reminisce about the buckwheat in the north. It turns out that Gun-ho is also from the same town as Dong-chul in the north. Heju Group's executive director, Song, gives Dong-chul his severance pay, as well as a parting gift from the president. It's a piece of paper with the information of the man Dong-chul has been looking for. As Dong-chul gets out of the president's house, he feels that something is wrong. We see a man spraying a gas that makes Gun-ho unconscious, then injecting his foot with poison to kill him. Dong-chul arrives right afterwards and fights with the mysterious man, eventually killing him while Gun-ho is still dying. Dong-chul approaches the president, who gives him his glasses and tells him to bury them. We see a group of people surveilling the assassination from a remote location. The leader is Agent Suk-ho from the NIS, a South Korean intelligence agency. A group of people come in, claiming to be the police and asking Dong-chul to give the glasses to them. Dong-chul refuses, sensing that they are part of the group who killed Gun-ho, and a gunfight happens. Dong-chul jumps off the window to escape. We then see the housekeepers being shot to death, while eventually President Gun-ho is also shot again by Suk-ho. He calls his office to talk with the Defense Security Command. At a military teen training boot camp led by a general named Min Se-hoon, or most people call him Chief Min, another high-ranking officer approaches him and tells him about a new mission. At first, Chief Min looks uninterested, but not after hearing that the target is Dong-chul. Next scene, we see Dong-chul inspecting the president's glasses. The NIS is investigating the crime scene as if they know nothing of it. There, we see Agent Suk-ho talking to Director Song, who is confused about the situation. Song then gets a call from Dong-chul, telling him that it's an assassination. Song keeps asking him where he is, and Agent Suk-ho tries to tap into his location, but Dong-chul already realizes this and immediately hangs up. We see suspicious men lurking around Dong-chul's house. Dong-chul watches them from afar as he is already on his way to leave. It turns out that they are tasked to place a gun inside Dong-chul's house. That way, the police will suspect Dong-chul as the culprit of killing the president director Heju. Chief Min has now arrived at the NIS headquarters. He has doubts about the true intent of this mission, but Suk-ho wants him just to do the job quietly, as Chief Min is the best spy sniffer. He is given a squad by Suk-ho, assisted by Captain Jo. We find out that Dong-chul was an elite spy for the North involved in an operation against the South. Se-hoon's team also brings in Gong Yoo and her assistant, asking her why she is interested in Dong-chul. She knows that he is a spy but is pretending to be clueless. Dong-chul calls NIS from a payphone, telling Chief Min that he's not the killer and about the glasses, before saying he'll die quietly and where to find his body. Gong Yoo begs them to stop him, saying that he's on a mission to kill Lee Gwang-jo, who killed his wife and child. Dong-chul has arrived at Gwang-jo's house. He killed Dong-chul's family before running and changing his name and working for NIS. Dong-chul asks him about his wife's last words. Gwang-jo writes it down on his hand. When Dong-chul wants to read it, suddenly a glimpse of light hits them. A sniper is already aiming at Dong-chul. Gwang-jo jumps off to avoid the bullet and runs away, but his phone is left behind. Dong-chul takes the phone and tries to catch up with Gong Yoo, who ran into a mall with his wife. We see many men trying to look for Dong-chul, but he manages to escape. Dong-chul tries to find Gong Yoo inside the shopping mall. Chief Min sees him on the CCTV and tracks him. Suddenly, Gong Yoo's phone is ringing and Dong-chul picks it up. The man on the phone asks where Gong Yoo is. Dong-chul says nothing when suddenly the guy is in front of him. It turns out that he was the sniper from the apartment before. Dong-chul and that guy fought on the stair. He succeeded in killing that guy using his own poison. Chief Min's team tells him that the sniper seems to be a part of NIS, and Chief Min smells something is wrong here. He asks Suk-ho about the details of the problem. However, Suk-ho avoids answering him. Chief Min feels that Suk-ho is very suspicious. He is now taking himself into the case and investigating alone. Chief Min checks on Dong-chul's background. We learn that Dong-chul's wife was accused and executed as a defector against the Korean government in China. Dong-chul is also acknowledged as a traitor, so the government punishes him. However, Dong-chul escapes and rushes to his family. Yet he is too late. The house had already burnt down to the ground, and his family are already dead. This incident is what Gyung-hee was investigating. At the other place, Gyung-hee is busy finding Dong-chul's files and trying to reveal the corrupted government. Dong-chul calls her and wants to meet up with her. However, the police have already tracked her movement. A few agents stalk her into the meeting location. Dong-chul and Gyung-hee realize that she has been followed. They both try to decoy the police and escape. Chief Min is also in the location. He tries his best to capture them both, however Dong-chul and Gyung-hee escape. They both go to Gyung-hee's house and try to find out about the glasses that President Park left. It turns out that there is a chemical formula imprinted on the glasses. The formula is the result of the Heju group's research. Chief Min is called by the NIS chief and is threatened if he jeopardizes the mission. He meets with an informant given to him by his team, who tells him all about the real assassination of President Park. The next morning, the NIS acquired Dong-chul's whereabouts. We see Gong Yoo and another agent entering Gyung-hee's house and taking the formula before almost shooting her. Suddenly, Dong-chul jumps into Gong Yoo. They both fight a very hard battle. Dong-chul beats him up, and Gong Yoo is impaled by an iron bar on the wall. It causes him to die slowly. When Dong-chul wants to kill him, Gong Yoo tells him why he is working with NIS now. It turns out that Dong-chul's child is still alive. He was sold to China by Suk-ho. He also reveals that Suk-ho initiated the killing of President Heju and Dong-chul's wife. For all this time, Gong Yoo was forced to shut up Suk-ho as his family would be in danger if he didn't do what Suk-ho said. Gong Yoo is dead now. The NIS agents approach and surround Dong-chul. He has no choice but to leave Gyung-hee behind to save himself. Dong-chul runs away while Chief Min takes Gyung-hee to a safe place. It turns out that she was recording the formula on the glasses before NIS took it. Dong-chul manages to fetch a car to escape the place. Chief Min's team has already hacked into Suk-ho's computer. He calls Chief Min, explaining that Suk-ho lately has contacted a weapons dealer in the Middle East. It looks like that is why Suk-ho wants to get the formula. He wants to sell it to them. Suk-ho, holding the formula in his hand, is negotiating with the buyer. The negotiation does not go well. When they check on it, it turns out that the formula is only a formula for a high-quality plant seed. Kim Suk-ho feels irritated and gets angry. He wants to reveal to the media about Dong-chul as the culprit of President Heju's death. Dong-chul comes into the crowd and shoots his gun in the sky. He warns the others to get out of the place while aiming his gun at Suk-ho. Then, Dong-chul forces him to speak up about his son's whereabouts. However, the NIS has already come in to save Suk-ho. So, Dong-chul has no choice but to deal with them first. While Suk-ho tries to run away with his wounded leg, Chief Min shows up. Since he knows that Chief Min knows the truth, Suk-ho takes his gun and points it at Chief Min. At the outside of the building, Gyung-hee has acquired a lot of evidence of Suk-ho's corrupted act. She spreads it out throughout the media. Suk-ho sees this and points his gun at Chief Min's head. It turns out that there is no bullet in his gun, so Chief Min hits him hard and takes the gun away. Suk-ho takes out a bullet which was the one he used to kill President Gun-ho. He isn't afraid of Chief Min because the only evidence will be gone forever if he uses the bullet. Suddenly, Dong-chul appears and chokes Suk-ho, asking his son's whereabouts. When Suk-ho is almost out of breath, he pushes a button which makes the window blinds open. The snipers aim at Dong-chul now. He has no choice but to back off from him. Chief Min gives his gun and the bullet to Dong-chul, he then shoots Suk-ho dead. Chief Min puts handcuffs on Dong-chul and gets out of the building. At the end of the movie, Chief Min gives him a note. It is the location of Dong-chul's son. He then stops by a minimarket to buy a cigarette, signaling him to run away. When he is back, Dong-chul has gone. Chief Min remembers that Dong-chul didn't kill him in Hong Kong because Dong-chul saw a picture of his family, so Chief Min wants to repay the debt. And that's boy how the movie ends.